thank you for your enormous blessings bestowed upon us this day. Through the tough times, your everlasting love has held and protected us. Father, we pray that you protect all those who are sick and comfort those who have lost their loved ones. Lord, we ask you to console them and hope they find solace in you. We also pray for the participants of this program. Give them knowledge, understanding, and positivity. We ask this to you in the precious name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Joel. It's a glad welcome we bring to you this afternoon, filled with desires, hopes, and dreams. We all share on this note. I invite Annie Lima, 2nd BCom Section A, to lead us with the welcome address.
Good afternoon. I take absolute pleasure to start this auspicious webinar program by heartily welcoming everybody. A warm word of welcome to the eminent speakers and guests of the day who come from different walks of life, who have come here to share their knowledge and vast experience with the student community. I heartily welcome our principal, our staff, faculty members, and students from the Patrician institution. I extend my pleasant greetings towards the students who are here with us today. We appreciate you for your presence. The reason for conducting this seminar on Step Up with Commerce is to let the students realize that commerce is one of the most popular streams, which involves practical and logical thinking. This prominent stream easily generates various employment opportunities. Hope you make the best out of it today. Thank you.
Thank you, Annie. I would like to quote in the words of John C. Maxwell. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Under her dynamic leadership, the path of many students was paved to bloom and blossom in their endeavors. With immense pleasure, I welcome our pillar of support, Dr. B. Meena Ma'am, Vice Principal of Shift 1, to felicitate the gathering.
Thank you, Tiana. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. At the outset, it is indeed a great pleasure to felicitate on behalf of management of Patrician College of Arts and Science for this great initiative and extraordinary effort of the Department of Commerce Shift 1 for +2 students. As we are all in a pandemic situation, it's a need of the hour to guide the students studying in the commerce stream to know the various career options and scope in studying BCom General. Since all activities are carrying out in online all over the world, there is no way of providing physical counseling. That is why the department came up with the idea of organizing a webinar on suitable topic, Step Up with Commerce, for creating awareness among the commerce stream school students, where they are stepping into the next crucial phase of their life. So I appreciate and congratulate the HOD, Dr. D. Unica, and the coordinator, Professor T. Vaidegi, faculty and students for your coordination in making this webinar a successful one. I thank our resource person, Mr. Chandrasekhar Kuperi, a chartered accountant, cost accountant, and company secretary, a high-profile person, and Madam Marian Manish, our own alumni, belong to second batch of the Department of Commerce to enlighten this session. I hope all the participants will gain knowledge on attending this webinar. Once again, I congratulate the department. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. I take it my privilege to have you in our midst. I now invite our Assistant Professor of Department Commerce, Vaidigi ma'am, to introduce our chief guest.
Thank you, Karishma. It is my proud privilege to introduce our resource person, Mr. Chandrasekhar Kuperi, founder, ANOVA Corporate Services. Chandrasekhar has almost decades of experience in various multinationals with diversified experience, FMCG, life insurance, audit and assurance, and oil and gas sectors. His last stint was as Group Finance Director with Lornamaid Group, a UK-based multinational in the FMCG space, which owns a well-known personal care brands like Yardley of London. His prior stints include various finance and audit positions with MNCs such as ExxonMobil and KPMG in India. Shekhar has rich experience in the FMCG and M&A, merger and acquisition space, having been part of over 11 acquisitions with 4 disinvestments, besides restructuring and refinancing transactions in North America, Europe, and India. His deep knowledge and expertise in mergers and acquisitions lead him to establish his own investment banking advisory firm called Anova Corporate Services Private Limited. Shekhar is a chartered accountant, cost accountant, and company secretary by qualification, a rank holder and medalist. He is also a member of Institute of Management Accounts, US, Institute of Public Accounts, Australia, and Chartered Institute for Securities and Investments, UK. He holds an MBA from IIM Calcutta. First award under SME Services category at 13th National Awards for Excellence in Cost and Management in 2015 he received. Second, the Secret Weapon Award by Barclays for his outstanding contribution during the disinvestment of Lornamaid Group to Li Feng in 2012. Rashtriya Udyog Ratna Award for national income growth through individual contribution by the National Organization for Commerce and Industry in the year 2012. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I take it my privilege to welcome our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Chandrasekhar Kuperi, to enlighten the young minds on this virtual platform.
Let me first start by saying that I love the energy. So, my applause to Tiana, to Karishma, to Joel, to Annie, the way you started. A very, very happy afternoon, a very, very good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for this kind and generous introduction, Professor Vaidegi. I'm so thrilled to be here. A million thanks to the management and faculty of Patrician College for the opportunity, as well as to the UG and PG. I think without your support, this program, is not easy to conduct. And of course, to all my beloved students who are participating today, because you, the young students, you are the leaders of tomorrow. So it is my abundant happiness to be part of this talk along with my co-speaker, Marian. First of all, I love this title, Step Up with Commerce. Why? Because commerce is a career booster. And why am I saying that? Commerce is a versatile subject, and it is my firm belief that students who pursue the commerce stream never run out of options. In fact, you're looking at one. As I'm speaking, I can tell you my own experience. If you're a commerce student, you never run out of options. To me, commerce is the nucleus of the society, whether someone is a doctor, an engineer, or let's say any other professional, because commerce is a field that deals with business or trade or transactions, employment, or even hobby, which is the essence of what we do to survive and progress. That's the beauty of this word commerce. Now, commerce is all about studies of the market, the economics, the fiscal policies, the industrial policies. Oh, you can keep on saying about, what this commerce is. But commerce at the same time is an important field to be studied and researched as nation's economy simply gets affected due to it. Whether it is GDP, which is always the talk of the town, the foreign direct investment, the current account deficit, the fiscal deficit, the forex reserves, the trade agreements, and the other treaties. The overall policy of nation's economy purely depends upon commerce. That amazing is this word commerce. Commerce is what makes or breaks a nation. So if you are pursuing this, my dear students, oh, it's a matter of great happiness. It's a matter of great pride. Commerce in a broad way acts as an interdisciplinary field of expertise, as it also comprises the auxiliary branches of study such as accountancy, economics, banking, business administration, company law, marketing, e-commerce, which is so prevalent in current times, advertising, and many more. Just look at the number of branches that this commerce is able to glue and bind them together. That is, to me, is the amazing part of this word commerce. I know you're all here to discuss about your career. So what about commerce as a career? Now, commerce has a vast and varied scope. If you have to look at it from a career angle, because of the localization, the globalization, the privatization, the liberalization that has been happening in this country, and that has led to increasing number of employment opportunities. In fact, I call this world a global world, which is nothing but global plus local. And that has led to tremendous number of opportunities. For example, there is a banking profession, there is this company secretaryship, there is this chartered accountancy, there is business administration, what you call as MBA, there is cost management, and so on, to look at as career options. Of course, let's not forget there is also law, there is also journalism, there is mass communication, there is hotel management, and many others. What I'm saying is look at the plethora of opportunities. We are discussing plentiful opportunities in industrial jobs if you are aspiring commerce. Now, apart from these industrial jobs, if you are a commerce graduate, you can also choose academia, just as what is happening now. You can be part of universities, colleges, institutions, as well as professional bodies. In fact, I know many commerce students who also go for this public service commission, either at a state level or the union level. In union, we call it as UPSC, and at a state level, for example, if it is Tamil Nadu, we call it as Tamil Nadu Public Service Commission. Now, apart from the civil services, there are Indian economic services, Indian statistical services. There are exams that are conducted by various revenue departments. My goodness, there are so many for you as options. Now, I'll be honest, I don't have expertise on many of these options, and therefore I would request you, urge you to discuss with a college like this or career counselors. But my message is, there are plethora of options for a commerce graduate. But let me tell you what I'm good at. I'm good at answering this question, when should you take commerce as a profession? Because Professor Vaidigi introduced me as a chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretary. I'm doing my own business. So I'm running my own professional organization. When should you pick up commerce as a profession? The answer is very simple. Profession in commerce is best suited for those who love numbers, who have liking for numbers, who love computing data, who like analyzing data, who are good with logical thinking. I heard Annie, use this word logical thinking, as well as cost-related issues. If you're proficient in all this, you can become a professional after you pursued your commerce. Now, of course, there are many other areas. If you're pursuing commerce, you can be a consultant for investments, consultant for insurance, capital markets, taxation, treasury. There are so many commerce-related laws which also present to you as career options. Thus, there is a new edge of self-employment that is created by this world of commerce. You can be a financial analyst, you can be a corporate lawyer, you can be a tax consultant, you can be a registered valuer, you can be a compliance expert, you can be a stockbroker, you can be a trade consultant. My goodness, I'm losing out of my breath because that's the sort of opportunities this world of commerce presents to you. And whatever I'm discussing or whatever I discussed just now is not restricted to India. Commerce students have the option of choosing international borders, international territories. Now, let me also address one of the most important questions that you would have in your mind as commerce students. What is the remuneration? Let me tell you, remuneration is handsome. It's plenty. But remuneration for a candidate having the commerce background entirely depends on the academic qualification, the merits, the training, the experience, the location of the job where the person is going to be, the sort of job responsibilities. person is going to take? Of course, the employer who is hiring. So commerce is a career booster, there is no doubt. So I love the title, Step Up with Commerce. Okay, now I'm going to discuss further with few more thoughts, but I want you please to listen more thoughtfully. I'm repeating again, I want you to listen more thoughtfully, whatever I'm going to discuss now. We discussed about commerce, the commerce background. So apart from the commerce background, a candidate, whoever is pursuing commerce, must possess other skill sets like interest in organizational, interest in administrative skills, networking to leverage the connects as well as gain greater awareness and insights in a practical way, ability to work hard and for long hours. I'll repeat that again, ability to work hard and for long hours. You should have practical business orientation, decision making, leadership, and such other soft skills. So you should look at considering colleges which encourage extracurricular activities, other industrial visits, offer career development sort of guidance. They promote entrepreneurship via the e-cells, and if they can also provide some add-on courses. If you're looking for such institutions, such colleges, trust me, that would be a great benefit to you. So I am going to discuss further on the skills which I just mentioned, which I call as the soft skills, but I'll be using some new phrases, some new thoughts, and I'm sure if not all, some are going to be of help to you. So please, please give me your attention. Don't get distracted. Give me your attention. And I would also make a request. Please note down the first letter of each of the phrases that I'm uttering. And I would encourage you to type the first letter in the chat box if you're able to, when I request you to. Not now, when I'm requesting you to type the first letter in the chat box, then only you do it. So my first phrase is a very simple letter, I. It starts with I. Whom am I speaking of? I'm speaking about you. You got to ask, what is my purpose? What do I want to do? What is my dream? What is my goal? For example, you may want to pursue a bachelor course or a professional course. A bachelor course could be a BCom, could be a BBA, could be Bachelor of Economics, Bachelor of Law, or let's say a professional course could be a chartered accountancy, which means you start with a CPT, maybe a company secretary course, you start with the foundation, or maybe a cost and management accountant course, again start with the foundation, or probably you're thinking of being a chartered financial analyst or maybe a certified financial planner. Either a bachelor course or a professional course. But the message that I'm driving is, don't simply copy others. I've seen this psyche. A lot of students simply copy what the other guy is doing, what the other person is doing. That's why I'm saying you've got to be you. See, knowing others is intelligence, but knowing our own self is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength, but mastering our own self is true power. So the question is, do you have a dream? Something you would like to be, something you would like to have in life, something you would like to achieve, something you really, really want, something you desire, something that can push up to get you up in the morning. So find that purpose. If you want to live a life of success, a complete success, a life full of happiness and fulfillment, you must find that purpose. Because the tragedy of human life is not ultimate death, but what dies inside of us when we are still alive. You have to work harder on yourself. You need to have the desire to find the way to accomplish what you want, no matter what. Discover yourself. Discover the you in you. So the first phrase is I, that is what I want to be. Now, if I can request you, please type I in the chat box. As you are typing, let me move to my second phrase. My second phrase is imagination. The great Albert Einstein, he said, imagination is more important than knowledge. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. It's the preview to life's coming attractions. For example, I just said you can pursue a bachelor course or you can pursue a professional course, but if you're imaginative, you may be thinking of journalism and mass communication. You may be thinking of multimedia and animation. You may be thinking of graphic designing. You may be thinking of foreign language. You may be thinking of digital marketing, which is the talk of the town, or you may become another Marian who is an MC. Somebody who are very proud of, because she is like the solo, the monopoly. What I'm trying to tell you is imagination is everything. See, our eyes are not there just to view, but also to project. Imagination creates reality. Imagination is the ability to see things that do not yet exist. I'll repeat that again. Imagination is the ability to see things that do not yet exist. For example, if you are aspiring, imagining the job opportunity, you may want to become an accountant, a tax consultant, probably a banker, or probably you're thinking of a government job, or maybe a stockbroker, or maybe an insurance consultant. Or some of you may be thinking, oh, I'll become a finance manager, I'll become a human resource manager, I'll become a marketing manager, I'll become a research and development manager. All is fair. The choice is yours. What I'm telling you is imagination helps you innovate. Imagination helps you to be creative. Imagination is the beginning of creation. Imagination gives birth to ideas, and imagination gives the power to execute them also, because execution is the key. As it is not in the power of idea that success lies, it is always in the power of execution. So the second phrase is imagination. Now again, I'm going to request you, please type the first letter of this phrase, which is I. As you're typing, let me move to my third phrase. My third phrase is actualize your potential. What do I mean? Simply achieve it. Actualize your potential. Push yourself. We are a limitless possibility. Anything is possible. Push yourself to achieve your dreams no matter what. The great Abdul Kalam said, dreams are not those which come in our sleep. Dreams are those which do not let us sleep. If you have a dream, you have to protect it. You have to push through the pain, because on the other side is growth. Go through the various resources, the various blocks that you get to know of. Ask your friends, ask your teachers, ask your well-wishers. To my knowledge, there are blogs like Upgrad, which is quite popular, Shiksha, Mindler. There is something called College Dunia, College Dekho, College Search, Career Guide. I think there are a plethora of resources even for you to understand which is the right college, which is the right university. In fact, what is key for me is, as you're browsing through the universities, the colleges, can you also find out whether the college can give you industrial visits, those opportunities? Has the college signed MOU with industries? Do they give you career development opportunities? Do they give you the ability to even have an add-on course? Are they encouraging extracurricular activities? A lot of these events, I saw in the presentation at the beginning, so many events Patrician College conducts. That is what I'm looking at. The amount of entrepreneurial spirit, the amount of events that the college can do, I think that is going to be magnificent. So remember, our capacity is unlimited. Our ability is unlimited. We all have the strength to handle more, to go further. Anyway, we have to live, so why not live the best? Anyway, we have to live, so let's live to be the number one. Anyway, we have to live, so let's live unleashing the potential within us. So the third phrase is actualize your potential. And my request to you, please type the first letter of this phrase, A. So as you're typing A, I move on to my fourth phrase. My fourth phrase is courage. Courage in French simply means of the heart. Courage is what at the moment feels most right for us. What feels right at the heart. That is called courage. So courage is not waiting for our fears to go away. Courage is not the absence of the fear, but our judgment that what we want is more important than our fears. Courage is the willingness to let go of the familiar, because what we have known, what we have done hinders us from being what we can become. It's a huge issue. What we know already always hinders us from what we can become. So remember, it takes courage to be rich. Whenever we look at rich people, oh, they are extremely courageous. So it takes courage to be rich. It takes courage to think outside of the box. It takes courage to act outwardly on what we feel inwardly. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to be wise. It takes courage to be educated. It takes courage to be exceptional. It takes courage to be knowledgeable. It takes courage to be successful. Oh, guys, courage is such an important word. And therefore, whether you're going to be a day scholar or an evening scholar, pluck up the courage, understand what you want to pursue. For example, this college, Patrician College, it offers variety of courses. You have got the BCom, either in accounting finance, you have got BCom in corporate secretaryship. I think the college also offers courses in psychology and visual communication, social work. The question is, whatever you want to choose, develop the courage, understand and choose, because life expands or shrinks in proportion to our courage. The more courageous we are, life expands. The less courageous we are, life shrinks. So the fourth phrase is courage, and I would request you to type the first letter of this phrase, which is C. I now move to my fifth phrase, which is positive thinking, my favorite, my personal favorite, positive thinking. The most important real estate, that is piece of land, that all of us have is between our ears, how we think. The largest gap between the successful and the unsuccessful is the thinking gap. Therefore, we have to develop positive thinking to be successful. We have to own the thought. Because positive people, they're always focused. They're always upbeat. They're always learning. They're always growing. So every day, stand guard at the door of your mind and cultivate positive thinking. That should be a habit. Because negative is so normal. Look at the current COVID situation. Negative news travels faster than the positive. So negative is normal. It is part of life. We cannot ignore it. We cannot avoid it. But we must learn to handle the negative. Now, positive thinkers do not refuse to recognize the negative, but they refuse to dwell on it. They simply do not always, contemplate about the negative. They refuse to dwell on it. Positive thinking is a form of thought which habitually looks for the best results in the worst conditions, in the worst situations. So every day, stand guard at the door of your mind, cultivate positive thinking habit. To believe in the heroic makes heroes. So nurture your mind with great thoughts. So the fifth phrase is positive thinking. And I would request you please to type the first letter of this phrase, which is the letter P. As you're typing, I move to my sixth phrase, which is risk taking. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Vadivelu's dialogue, risk and rask sapramari. I tell you, risk taking is such an important attribute that we all need to cultivate. And as commerce students, as aspiring commerce students, cultivate risk-taking ability. We all know, no risk, no reward. So higher the risk, better the reward. The great Warren Buffett, he once said, risk comes from not knowing what we are doing. If you know what you are doing, where is the risk? The problem is, we don't even know what we are doing, and therefore we consider it risky, which means I'm speaking about calculated risk. Do your homework and then take the risk. Because the greatest risk in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, gets nothing, has nothing, is nothing, becomes nothing. The greatest risk we will ever take in our life is if we never take a risk. I love Jeff Bezos of Amazon, who said, I will not regret if I failed, but I will always regret if I did not try. It takes risk-taking ability even to try, even to make that attempt. So take calculated risk. So my sixth phrase is risk-taking. Please type the first letter of this phrase, which is the letter R. Thank you. I now move to my seventh phrase, which is tireless. Tireless. You can't feel tired. Success is an outcome of conscious choices pursued consistently and tirelessly. Can you be tireless? Most people, they end up saying, we worked until we got tired. Now listen to this. Tiredness does not equal hard work. I'll repeat that again. Tiredness does not equal hard work. It's how hard we work after we get tired. When we get tired, that is when the real work starts. I'll repeat that again. It is how hard we work after we get tired. When we get tired, that is when the real work starts. If we want better than the average, we have to work harder than the average. If you want greatness, our efforts must be greater than great. We are far more powerful and capable than we know. We think we are only this much. Oh, we are limitless. We are far more powerful and capable than we know. So the seventh phrase is tireless. Please type the first letter of this amazing phrase, letter T. I now move to my eighth phrase, which is again one of my favorites. It's anticipate success. I'll repeat that, anticipate success. See, life is 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to it. So when we respond well to our fears, it is called anticipating success because we are not reacting. What is reaction? It is instinct. For example, an animal only has the instinctive intelligence, but we all have a matured intelligence. So many respond badly due to this word called fear. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. We can either live our dreams or live our fears, choice is ours. When we live with the fear, that is the real issue, which means we are not anticipating success. In fact, fear is the most subtle and destructive of all human diseases. We thought it was cancer. We thought it was corona. No. It is fear. That's the most destructive. I know many of you, or maybe all of you, know the famous Thomas Alva Edison. And we all know that, he invented the electric light bulb. But we also know, or it is said that Edison failed 10,000 times before he invented the electric light bulb. And because he was failing, even his friends taunted him. So when the failure happened, his friends taunted him for the 10,000th time. But this is what Edison said. He said, I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. I'll repeat that again. This is what Edison said. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. My dear students, every failed experiment is one step closer to success. And to me, that is anticipating success. Every failure is one step closer to success. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Our life is not measured by the number of breaths that we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. So please anticipate success. So my eighth phrase is anticipate success. And please type the first letter of this phrase, the letter A. I now move to the last phrase, which is now, as simple as now. Be in the now, which means be in the present. Unfortunately, we are all living our life like being in an autopilot mode, quickly brushing, quickly bathing, quickly, driving to the college, rushing to the college. That's what our life is, which means we should not be stranger to our own selves. We need to have the self-awareness. We need to have the consciousness because happiness is in the now. We need to learn to be happy with what we have while we pursue all that we want in our life. We need to learn to appreciate the current situation and what we have and be in the now. Because if we learn to appreciate more of what we already have, we will find that we have more to appreciate, and what we appreciate appreciates, and the more we complain, the less we obtain. So, whenever we accept whatever is happening, whatever happens, that continues to leave us peaceful. So my ninth phrase is now. So please type the first letter of this last phrase, letter N. I know now you all will be thinking in your mind, okay, I've discussed this 9 phrases, sir, but how do we remember them? So I'm going to give you a simple technique. If you rearrange the first letters, you will get Patrician. This is how you recollect the phrases whenever you remember this session organized by them. So I dedicate this to you, my dear students, the young aspirants, and to this college for the opportunity provided. To summarize, commerce is a versatile subject. It is a nucleus of the society. Nation's economy depends on commerce. Commerce comprises of the auxiliary branches, which is like accountancy, economics, business administration, banking, and so on. There are plentiful opportunities in industrial jobs, academia, civil services, and other areas. There is impressive remuneration, and yes, soft skills. That's why I discussed Patrician. What does Patrician stand for? P for positive thinking, A for actualized potential, T for tireless, R for risk taking, I for I, C for courage, I for imagination, A for anticipate success, and N for now. On that note, I conclude by saying that yes, step up with commerce. Commerce is truly a career booster. Embrace the course wisely. And I wish each one of you the very, very best. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for creating a phrase where the Patrician's name will be remembered. And you also have guided them in such a way that they will remember our college, Patrician College. Thank you for that. I'm
Thank you.
sure that now our young aspirants have a clear vision in making their decision for life and in taking their next step for a glorious future. Yet, there will be a thin air of doubt that is lingering in their minds. So I request you, sir, to clear their queries.
Absolutely.
Well, my dear young friends, if there's any doubt that has cropped up in your mind, it's the time to shoot your questions. So those of you who have questions can leave us messages in the Google Meet or on our live YouTube channel. You can post your questions in the live chat box and your doubts will be resolved.
Sir, some of the students, they wanted to know the scope of BCom. Now, in the pandemic situation, we'll have to motivate them and we'll have to tell them the reality. As an experienced personality here, can you tell us the scope of BCom?
It's a very interesting question. What is the scope of BCom? Please understand that's the next sort of understanding of the commerce world. Commerce is all about commercial. So I'm pretty sure in 12th, you'd have understood about business, about economics. And now, you're actually getting into the world in terms of understanding how practically some of the concepts are being implemented. So if somebody is studying BCom, I think you'll have to be very clear in terms of whether you want with mathematics or without mathematics, because I know some of the students, they struggle with numbers. So that's the first decision that you got to make. The second is, even without BCom, there are various other sort of ways by which, the curriculum is structured. For example, it could be a BCom general, or it could be as specific as BCom in accounting and finance. That's why I said, find out your purpose. Who are you? What do you want to be? So do you want to do a general BCom? Do you want to do a BCom with specialization in accounting and finance? Do you want to do a BCom with specialization in corporate secretarieship, which is all about compliance, the corporate secretarial world? I think that choice is something, that you'll have to make. That's why I use the word courage. It takes courage even to understand what you want to be. And that to me is very, very personal. Of course, you can ask, the career counselors, you can ask the colleges to guide you in terms of what the courses are. But being the person who I am, I would leave it, more in terms of your personal intuition and understand who you are before you take up that course.
Sir, and also what are the employment opportunities for BCom students? So that will motivate them, sir.
So if you look at employment opportunities, if you're good with numbers, you can even become analyst rather than an accountant, because in BCom, you will understand about the Indian GAAP. By GAAP, I mean generally accepted accounting principles. It tells you how to make a P&L, a balance sheet, a fund flow statement, a cash flow statement. Now, that's very important. But if you're very good with numbers, you can be an MIS specialist, MIS Management Information System. And that could help you to be much more critical within the organization, because any report which throws information is sought after by the senior management. And MIS analysis is very, very important. If you're good with taxation, you can take the line of taxation. You can be good in direct taxes. You can be good in indirect taxes. Now that GST has come, it has simplified the indirect tax world. Income tax, though it is still laborious, I'm hearing that is also going to be made simple. So you can take taxation area. If you're good with finances, you can use treasury. You can be good with working capital. You can be part of banks, part of the treasury, sort of systems. I think the opportunities are significant. As I said, if you're good with compliances, you can always choose compliances. But again, I'll go back to this, aspect. You need to realize what you want to be. Do you want to do a professional course after you become like a CA, a CW, a CS, or maybe a CFA? Or are you looking to do an MBA from which, sort of college? I think all that matters for me as you are thinking even about your employment opportunities.
Sir, another question I would like to ask you, sir. Can you please give us your personal experience while you were doing CA, sir? Since we students haven't had an experience, we all are terrified of CA and ICWA kind of professional courses. So can you please tell us your personal experience, sir?
I would begin by saying that what attracts us to complete any course is the sort of future that it gives to us. So if you truly believe that being a CA or a CW or a CS is going to give you that amazing future, trust me, you will find all the ability and the courage to do it. So in my case, I always dreamt of being a CA. I always thought, that being a CA, I could be more strategic as I am, taking my career forward, taking my journey forward. So I told myself that it is going to be a lot of hard work. I told myself I'm not going to shirk away from hard work. I'm going to discuss with my faculty or with my friends if I don't understand a concept. I will do my own research, which means in my days, the access was more of library, not Google. So I used to, go to the library and find out the relevant books to understand what that concept is. But more importantly, I used to do a lot of group studies, which means I had my common friends who were pursuing the CA, and I used to, study along with them, which gave me the benefit of if I was good at something, I was able to educate them. If they were good at something, they were able to educate them. So number one, do you believe in the future? Because if you believe in the future of a CA or a CW or a CS, you will do everything within your might to pursue the course. Second, it calls for hard work. There's no doubt in that. Third, go to libraries, do this Googling, understand the concepts better, create, a group discussion. See, you have WhatsApp today for so many groups. Sometimes, I find it very silly, the good morning messages. Rather than good morning messages, why can't you have a group for good, interesting concept messages? Do that. And I think that will give you a lot more confidence. The moment you build confidence, that's why I use the word courage. You've got to be courageous. You've got to decide for yourself that is what I'm cut out to be. I mean, look at, Marian, from whatever I've heard about her, I think she was very clear. I'm going to pursue this. I think the clarity of thought is very, very important. And that holds for CA or CWA, CS, or any of the courses that you're looking at.
So we have another question, sir. You mentioned that we could pursue different courses abroad if we are looking for opportunities abroad. So the question is, if a particular student wants to pursue a career abroad, there are so many different options that they have, but they want to know which would be the best option that could help them, climb and be steady in their position.
So because I'm not an expert, with the career guidance, my request to you would be, that I think there are a lot of agencies which help you and understand what are the options available to you, which universities, because it'll be very difficult for me to recommend to you a university. In fact, I've always seen that sometimes you can even learn courses from Udemy. That option is also available to you. And today in the virtual, days that we are living in, the online days that we are living in, I think you can pursue the courses even from the likes of a Harvard or a Carnegie Mellon or Kellogg's, at a much affordable cost because it's becoming online. For example, I just heard about a Stanford course, which does not cost much because it's becoming online, and the faculty and the Stanford University is willing to do that. So I think it's something, that you need to look at certain career guidance counselors who can tell you which is the right university. To me, it all begins with what I want to be. That's why I said I. What is it that I want to be? Am I looking at myself in the mirror as a chartered accountant, or am I looking at myself as a mirror as an investment banker? Am I looking at myself, as a treasury guy? I think it all begins with that. And I know you're confused. That's why I said there are plethora of choices, but the best is, to speak to the colleges with a lot of courage, understand what course they're offering, to speak a lot of, to a lot of this career, counselors, because they can guide you better, and then you can make your own independent choice.
Thank you, sir, for answering all the queries. And well, my dear friends, thank you for posting in your questions. And we hope we had given you a clear understanding of the opportunities in choosing commerce. I now call upon our College Sports Secretary, Yuvashri of 3rd BCom C, to introduce our guest of honor.
Thank you, Karishma. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm honored to introduce our beloved alumna who is spontaneous, proactive, resilient, passionate, are just a few of the many qualities that best describe a guest of honor. She's a mom of two, a caregiver, dancer, a social activist. Marian Manasseh has over the last 20 years managed her homemaking alongside establishing her business with sheer determination and hard work. Having started her career in the year 2000 as an MC, Marian went on to become an employee in engagement expert before starting her own event management company, Switch Events and Experiences, is where this eminent personality is the director of. Playing the role of a mentor to help and guide budding MCs, Marian is all about making the best use of her opportunities and living in the moment. It's a great pleasure to have you now, Miss Ma'am. I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Yuvashri. They say that the tree is known for the fruits which it bears. And today we have with us a very beautiful person, the fruit of Patrician Commerce Department, our alumna and guest of honor, Miss Mary Ann Manasseh. A hearty welcome to you, ma'am. Ma'am, our participants are eagerly waiting to hear you share about your journey with Patrician College and choosing commerce.
Thank you very much, guys, for inviting me and all the staff and the management of Patrician College. It's always a privilege to come back to a brand and institution that made you who you are today. So I really haven't prepared for anything because what I'm going to be sharing is my own story. So I just thought I should go with the flow and be very honest as I present myself. So I was a batch of Patrician College from the year 2002 to 2005. And I was a second batch of the college, which means I only had a senior and I never had a super senior. I was a little different when compared to other students because I was already a professional when I joined the college. I'm going to go a few more years back. So first and foremost, I came from a very, very poor family. I couldn't afford to educate myself. So I decided to start working when I was in class 10 itself. And by 11th and 12th, I was working and I already was doing pretty well for myself. And when I came to my 12th standard, let me tell you that I did very well in my board exams and I passed it in about a 90-odd%. I was recognized by the school that I studied in, which is St. Patrick's School. And I was in fact sponsored to study in any institution across the country or even go abroad and study. I'm very grateful to Brother Bosco for that opportunity he gave me and seen my ability to contribute to the world, to contribute to the better society and to myself. Like most of you guys, I was stuck in a situation in my 12th standard wondering what choice do I make? What subjects do I choose? Which college do I choose? Especially when I had a sponsor to sponsor me to study for the rest of the education that I wanted to study from. And with a lot of thought, I decided to follow my intuition. And I kept thinking, and when I got clarity, basically from my simple gut feeling, the answer was very clear that I wanted to go back to the same school that I studied at, and that was the Patrician institution. And I went back to my brother in the school and told him that I was going to choose Patrician College itself. And they asked me, why would you want to? He asked me, why did you choose Patrician College? Any reason? Because he was quite excited that it was my choice. And back then, because it was a new college, there was no presentations like this. Nobody really created an awareness what was happening, and I was just following my instinct over there. Like most Christian students, the first choice was either Loyola or WCC or MCC, and trust me, I got into all the colleges. And in fact, I was welcome because I scored very well in my 12th standard exams. I was very good in my extracurricular activities. I was quite popular in the city, and I didn't have a reason to choose any particular college, but I was just choosing the one that I felt that was right. So that's how I chose my college. It was just sheer intuition. And like we had Chandrasekhar beautifully say, if we do not take that calculated risk, it is very difficult for us to know whether we did right or wrong. It's very important to take that risk because there's going to be so many people coming into your life, influencing you whether this is right or that is right. But the only person who knows what is right for you is yourself. The second choice that I had to make is which subject do I choose from, and honestly, I always wanted to work behind the cameras, which means technically I should have taken up Viscom. But then, like I mentioned, I was very different when compared to other students. I was already a semi-professional. I was hosting events. And just to give you guys a background of what caliber I came from when I was just about 17 years old, since all you guys out here are students, everybody would have known of IIT Sarang, I'm guessing, which is one of India's biggest college cultural festivals. It's a dream for every student to be on that, to go for the culturals. By the time I was in my first year of college, I was already hosting IIT Sarang. I hosted IIT Sarang for 5 years. And my other events were more corporate events, but this was one event that I did for the college fraternity. So that was my caliber in terms of how well I was doing professionally. How much I was earning for a month at that point of time? I could have been earning about 50,000 to 75,000 a month at that given point of time when I was 17, 18 years old. So that put me in a very, very difficult situation of, looks like I'm already in a profession. I like what I'm doing. Now, how do I make that change? Again, like Chandrasekhar said, courage is about being able to choose the unknown. Choose what you felt is right. Choose what you think is right for you. So I chose commerce because I knew that if it wasn't my MSing that's going to take me for a longer time, there's a lot of things that I'm going to be learning with regards to management that I had a lot of choice out there to go and pursue a career from. And that was my simple logic of weighing out my pros and cons and choosing commerce as a subject. So I wasn't a dumb student. I wasn't a student who didn't have choices. In fact, I had a lot more when compared to all other students that I've known of. But I still chose what I chose. And today I say it's one of the best choices I've made in my life. And well, through this short story that I'm saying of mine, I'm going to tell you why. My first year of Patrician College was just like any other student. I was going to college, doing my MSing work. I was doing very well, like I said, for myself. And I passed out my first year in flying colors and then came in second year. Now, the college was supporting me a lot in the work that I was doing. And that time, my principal was Mr. Santanam. He was strict, but a wonderful man. And immense respect for him for what he's done for a lot of our students. Since I was growing, and this time my second year of college, I was just not in Chennai's best MC, but I was growing to be one of the best in the south of India, which means in a week I would travel one day to Bangalore, one day in Kerala, one day in Hyderabad, one day in Mumbai. I had so much travel in my hands, and I would go back and I would actually discuss this with Santanam sir, because he'll ask me, how are you doing, ma? What are you up to? In fact, Geeta ma'am was one of my go-to persons for me to go and talk a lot of things about. But other than my emceeing, I'm not sure if most of you guys know that Patrician College was one of the toppest, I'm not sure now, but we were one of the best dancing teams in the city. We were competing with the best Loyola, MCC, and we were hands down creating records in our achievement. And I was also a part of the dance team. So a lot of our time went dancing, a lot of my time went on stage while I was in college. So what happens to my academics now? Since I chose to study, it came out of an interest that I needed to pass my academics, because while I knew this practical experience of professional work that I was doing on stage was taking me places, but I also knew my academics was very important, because the first thing somebody meets you and asks you, what's your name and what's your education background? And that's how people tend to judge you as a person, right? So for me, it was very important for me to finish my BCom, and not just finish it, but finish it in flying colors. So second year, I seen my attendance was starting to go down, and every time it went down, Geeta ma'am will ask me, Marianne, your attendance, what's happening? And I would tell her, ma'am, I was doing this, I was doing that. Okay, please be more committed. And the problem was never attendance. Let me tell you guys that. The problem was always I would not be able to go to college once a week, and then I would have this disconnect of what is actually happening in class. Because if I don't follow the basics of the first day subject, for me to follow math or computer or whatever I was doing the next day would be extremely difficult, because I do not know the basics, and then how will I pick up midway? And by the time I picked up midway, I would not have been there for the finishing of the particular topic. So I think I would have made it extremely difficult for the teachers as well. And I was always in the list of people who had not the best of attendance. And whenever I was called to the principal's room, my friends in college would say, you are done. You are so done. You're going to get the TC and walk out of this college. And whenever I went to the college principal's room, he would always ask me, see, this is not right. And he would obviously say what was right for me according to his perspective. And I would sit down very confidently, and I would give him my approach of what I was doing and how I was going about my life. And then he said, okay, in this case, then how do we deal with your education? So I said, sir, I'm trying my best, and I will also study. And I don't know whether any college, one of the biggest names that was known then, because today Patrician is one of the biggest names that I know of now, one of the biggest names that I've known then, I don't think anybody would have actually sat and taken that personal interest of my life and thinking of my goodwill. It was my college that took that interest, and seeing that while she was doing so well for herself professionally, her education that I banked on Patrician College for should also contribute to my well-being and my growth. So I would go on holidays to college. I would go on literally all holidays to college. It started off towards the second half of my second year. If I remember, I had one area in my second year that I had to complete on my third year, honestly. And I don't know if I failed or I didn't go for the exam, but one of it. Or when it came to my third year, I was in trouble, because by now I was just not one of the best in the South, but I was growing so well that I was competing across the country as an MC, and I was also training people to be MCs by then. And I had to quit on my dancing because I could not concentrate on so many things. So I was, my travel was taking me to different places. In fact, I was doing even international shows. But what happens to my studies? I so clearly remember, I don't know if Geeta ma'am remembers this, but I'm so grateful to her that towards the mid or towards the end of my, I think it was mid of my third year, I remember very seriously going to her and told her, ma'am, I need help. I don't know if I'll pass, because I just have no idea what is going on in college. I really need help, because just having attendance is not going to help you pass, right? It's just going to give you an opportunity to write the examination. If I needed to pass the examination, I needed to know what was happening in class, which I was most of the time so tired of performing, and I was so tired that everything would just go over my head, and if I was not a disturbance in class, was a big thing for teachers actually. So I remember Geeta ma'am saying, okay, we'll do something about it. And here comes the main point and message that I wanted to share with you guys. Towards the last 3 months of my final year, every single teacher on a Saturday, on a Sunday, Geeta ma'am asked me to come to her house to study. Good studying students will sit with me in college and they will teach me. I could go to the teacher's staff room. I was accessible to teachers in the staff room. If I had any queries, I could go and ask them if I needed anything. My entire third year, I actually studied in the last 3 months of my examination. And I'm not saying this on this forum. For if anybody knows me, and not from this forum and personally have known me, I've always said this in every forum that I meet youngsters and they ask me which college I passed out from. I say Patrician. And one of the reasons that I'm so grateful for the choice and the courage that I'm proud of the courage that I had to choose my college is because if it wasn't for Patrician College, I would not have passed a college with my degree. And I just didn't pass it with a first class. I passed it with a distinction. I passed it with very, very fine results. And that was because just not of what happened in the classroom, but more of what happened out of the classroom. The effort the teachers put, I think we have, because some of my teachers are still there, such amazing teachers that were just available at any given point of time for us to reach out to them and say, ma'am, I don't understand this. Can you please help me? And they did give me the benefit of doubt because they knew I wasn't just bunking college to go out there and have fun, but I was making something out of my life. And they were genuinely there to help. And because of that, I was able to do what I did for myself. And here I am, turned out a very, very fine personality. And I am very proud of who I turned out to be. And let me tell you guys this, that choice that I made at a tender age of 12 standard, because I think it's as a human beings, this major choice we make is normally made by our parents or somebody else. I'm very grateful to my parents for not influencing me with any choices. I think we should make that choice for ourselves because, like I said, nobody knows better than yourself. What happens if that choice is wrong? It doesn't matter. Trust me, you will not regret. Because I started off with commerce, and from there, a few years later, I was wondering, okay, I would like to go back to study, and then I went back and did a diploma in my advertising, which I never used at all. And 12 years back, I went back to study psychology, and now I'm actually thinking I should join Patrician College as a proper course and pursue my psychology itself, because I have been doing a lot of work with patients, because I work with kidney patients. Using my psychology, I've studied NLP, and today I am still studying. Everything I want to pursue in my life, I just go back and study. It because I am not worried about, is it too late? No, it's never too late. Don't worry about the choices you are making. If you have a calculated risk, what you want to do today, just follow your dreams, follow your heart. Look at COVID. We all planned our life for the next 5 years, next 10 years. Most of us are not even doing what we planned, because that's what life is. Life is unpredictable. You just go with the flow. You don't be rigid. So coming back to the topic that was given to me, my experience in Patrician College, I think I had a fine, wonderful 3 years. I'm not sure what a trouble I've been for teachers, but I'm sorry if I were teachers. But I think it just made me a better human being, a more successful human being. It gave me the option of choosing to do what I want from my heart. If I had to be in Stella Maris, I could not have done events because that was the rule. And it was a choice that I was choosing from. It didn't let me pursue a lot of stuff. If I had to be in WCC, I had a lot of rules. It would not have let me do what I want to do. But this particular institution just let me be myself, let me grow to the best version of who I am as a person without being influenced, without being judged. And I don't think I've taken the opportunity to say thank you. So I'm going to use this opportunity while I'm addressing all you young guys who are in that tender age of taking that important decision making for yourself. I want to say thank you to all my teachers, my principals, my brothers from Patrician Institution. for contributing a little bit towards my life and making my life a celebration, making my life beautiful, making my life successful. And if it wasn't for Patrician College, I don't think I would have made a lot of other choices in my life. I would have been restricted, and probably I would have chosen the regular streams, and I don't know whether I would have been happy or not. I have no idea. But right now, I know I'm happy for myself. So thank you, and thank you for the opportunity that the institution has given me to address all you people. And guys, just relax. Follow your heart. If you're choosing commerce, I think it's a very good option because we have a lot of options to choose from. So much of options to choose from. And I'm sure out there, if you follow your dreams, you follow your heart, you're going to go to places that you've never imagined. And trust me, because that's the place I am in today. So this is me wishing you all the very best. God bless you. And just believe in yourself. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, ma'am. Sharing a similar experience of coming back to our impeccable campus. Like we say, once a patrician, always a patrician. We are really thrilled for our listeners, and I hope that we have enlightened all our students here. I quote in the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, "Do not follow where the path may lead, but go instead where there is no path and leave a trail." I welcome our beloved Head of Department Commerce, Dr. D. Unica ma'am, to throw light on the privilege one has in choosing commerce.
A very good afternoon to one and all. It is indeed my privilege and honor to address in this enlightened session. First of all, my special thanks to our chief guest, Mr. Chandrasekhar Kupari, for the valuable insight about commerce. Sir, your inputs are highly commendable, and you are a real witness spreading the message that one can step up with commerce in life to a greater level. Hats off to you, sir, and our special thanks for the abbreviation of the Patrician that you have given. Thank you, sir. My special appreciation to our guest of honor, Ms. Marianne, and I'm proud to say that she's one of the best and the prominent alumni of our department, carrying a very strong message that staying Patrician can transform life. To add on and to supplement what both the speakers have shared, I would like to share the greatness of Patrician and the uniqueness of our Department Commerce. Patrician College of Arts and Science is the only college in Tamil Nadu which is re-accredited with A+ grade by NAC and 5-star rating by Ministry of Education in the lifespan of just 20 years. Our management is also known for the well-maintained infrastructure with all modern technology, which really creates a good ambience for the education. And Department of Commerce is blessed with qualified and dedicated faculty members and equipped with all learning resources like departmental library, computer lab, commerce lab, ICT classroom, and smart board, etc. Apart from regular syllabus, we do also conduct mandatory certificate courses in each semester in association with various government and private organizations at an affordable price in order to enhance the employability skills of our students. Commerce Department maintains good records both in academics and in extracurricular activities. Commerce Department students always take the pride of winning in their interdepartmental and intercollegiate cultural competitions. Our students are good in organizing competitions from intra-departmental level to national level. Department encourages students for active participation in sports at various levels. They are known for winning as a team and individual title winners. Our department provides guidance and training for internship and placement. Our students are encouraged to play an active role in institutional social responsibility through various activities under the banner Patrician Seeds. What more can I say? Neither the pandemic nor the lockdown could resist the department and the students from organizing the events and programs. This webinar and the forthcoming future events will vouch my statement. Commerce Department in Patrician aims to give holistic education. So I can assure you that your choice to do BCom in Patrician College will definitely help you to step up in your life to a very great level. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving our participants an insight on the activities and infrastructure of the Commerce Department and college. Well, dear participants, the feedback link for this program is posted in the chat box in Google Meet and on YouTube. So kindly click on the link and fill in your particulars, and you will receive an e-certificate once completed. To receive an e-certificate, it is compulsory to fill in the feedback form. Please note that. And as we wrap up this awesome talk on Step Up with Commerce, there are many things we need to be grateful for. I call upon the student coordinator, first BCom B, Madhumita V, to render the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Tiana. Good afternoon to one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Commerce family of Patrician College of Arts and Science. I would like to thank God for all His abundant blessings showered upon us today. I would like to thank our chief guest, Mr. Chandrasekhar, and the guest of honor, Ms. Mary Ann, who graced this event with their inspirational thoughts. I would like to extend my gratitude to our director and secretary, Reverend Brother Arakaraj, our academic director, Dr. Fatima Vasant, our principal, Dr. Usha Judge, our vice principal, Shift 1, Dr. B. Meena, our vice principal, Shift 2, Mrs. R.K. Mary Geeta Das, our HOD of Commerce Department, Dr. D. Unica, our coordinator, Mrs. T. Vaidegi, for guiding us in making this event a successful one. I would like to specially thank the technical support team, Dr. N. Pushwataman sir, Dr. Dore Arsan sir, and Mr. Martin Bhaskar sir for all their explicit efforts in helping us to reach out to the nation. I also render my gratitude to all our faculty of Commerce Department for their constant support. I sincerely thank all our beloved school teachers who encouraged and helped many students to take part in this program. I would like to thank all the student coordinators, representatives, and my dear friends for making this day a fruitful one. Last but not the least, from the core of my heart, I especially thank all my dear young friends for being such wonderful participants and audience. You have added colors to this program. So let's always remember, big opportunities might not come to us right where we are, but when they do, don't forget to make the best of what you get. All the very best. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, Madhumita. A great start that has a successful ending is worth all the efforts. As you embark on a new phase of life, we, on behalf of the entire Commerce family, would like to wish you a successful start with us at Patrician College. I would love you to take on a short trip around the college through this video.
Well, my dear friends, I hope you enjoyed your trip in Patrician College. You have been such wonderful participants through this entire program. And we have a surprise for you, a small surprise that will keep you entertained for a day. So brush up your knowledge and wake up that hidden talent within you. Click on the link register to take part in the amazing one-day National Fest Confresto 2K21 to be held on 15th of May. Amusing you with three awesome events. Compete with students across the nation. So don't miss this opportunity. Registration link and promo video will be released soon. Come, register, and be glad. Experience Confresto 2K21. So let's take a look at Confresto 2K21.
Hi everyone, every day is a battle for us all.
And we should celebrate and the wisdom of our life.
Survive, revive, and thrive should be the must.
Get back to follow the instructions, wear mask, use social distancing, and use sanitize your hands regularly to survive.
It's an opportune time to revive our talent.
Nature and it.
Here we are, the students of Patrician College of Arts and Science, Department of Commerce.
Proudly organize Compresto 2K21.
Comeback from home begins.
The battle for the survival is smart. Let's stay in our food a little stronger.
And let's become skillful to be stronger when it's time to take the flight.
We are excited to present the awesome events and tough competition.
Let's awaken our diamond spirit to ignite the flame of knowledge. Are you ready for the combat? Let's begin.
So don't delay and register soon. We shall meet you next Saturday, that is the 15th of May. So until then, take care, God bless, stay safe, stay home, and be double cautious when you step out. This is Charisma and Tiana signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.